So hopefully that was pretty straightforward. Lesson number 2, we're going into mastering sequence sizes. So we're going to be setting up all of our different clips. We're going to be setting up sequences for YouTube videos. We're going to be setting them up for vertical IG Reels and YouTube Shorts. We're going to be setting them up for TikTok. We're going to also be setting up square videos. So next time you go on social media, if you're not already aware, you can look at the different styles of posts that people are posting and notice what size they are. And you're going to notice that they're different sizes. So you're going to understand that in this lesson. Okay, so we've created the bins. All right, next, we're going to need to create some editing sequences for our videos. Now, why is that important? Because we're going to be posting content from this podcast episode, some on TikTok. We're going to be posting on YouTube Shorts. We're going to be posting on Instagram Reels. We're going to be posting on YouTube. We're going to be embedding, videos into landing pages, etc. You want to be able to use as much of this content as possible, and each platform has different sequence sizes. All right. Some are squares on Instagram, for example, if you look at somebody's feed. Others are vertical videos on Instagram stories, Facebook stories, TikTok videos. They're a different size, right? So before we even start editing, we're going to set all of that up. Again, we are in Window Workspaces Editing, and we're going to go ahead and come up to File, hover over New, come down to Sequence, click on that, and this is how we're going to create new sequences, okay? So sequence 1, we can label as YouTube video. All right. And we're going to come up to settings. Now, depending on the quality of footage that you're working with, this is either going to be probably HD or 4K. All right. And that's when I say that, I'm referring to the frame size. So you're going to be setting your frame size to 3840 by 2160 if you shot the videos in 4K. If they're in HD, you're going to want to change this to 1920 by 1080 and making sure that the pixel aspect ratio is set to 1. All right. That's our YouTube video, vertical 16 by 9 sequence size. All right. Since these videos that I'm going to be editing are in 4K, I'm going to change this back to 3840 by 2160. And label this sequence YouTube 4K video. All right, when you're done and you've labeled your sequence name, go ahead and press OK, and you will see that you've created a new sequence. So you'll see a preview, just a black preview, which is going to also preview our footage once we import it. You'll see that that sequence imported here on the left-hand side next to our bins in our project, and you'll see a blank timeline, okay? Next, we're going to create another sequence. All right, so we're going to come up, File, New, Sequence, and you can press Control-N here. You can see that shortcut if you want to get fast with it. But we're going to be going step by step in these videos. And we're going to go ahead and label this YouTube Story. Okay, so these are going to be the content that we're going to be shooting and creating, editing for YouTube Story. Coming into settings, and now the frame size that we want is going to be 1080 by 1920. The square pixels, again, we want to set them at 1, and we're actually going to relabel this sequence name. We're going to say story, and we're going to say IG-TikTok-YouTube-Facebook- really whatever you'd like, LinkedIn. It's going to work for all these different social media platforms. And this is going to be your vertical video. Frame size 1080 by 1920. Once you've created that sequence and the settings are the same, we can go ahead and click OK. As you can see, we've now added a new sequence. This sequence is vertical. We can click on the last YouTube video to see the horizontal version there. Now we have two sequences in our timeline. We have two sequences added to our project. And now we're going to come up and create a new sequence for square videos. All right, so this is common on Instagram. I'm just going to say Instagram here. Come to the settings, and now we're just changing the frame size from 1080 by 1920 to 1080 by 1080. You can save a preset if you want. I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. And you can see here now that we have added a square sequence to our timeline. All right, last one, we are going to be adding a new sequence, and we're going to vertical square. For IG, again, the frame size 1080 by 1350 this time. Okay, so Instagram does allow you to post 1080 by 1350. It's going to take up more of the screen size than 1080 by 1080, so it's a great additional option that we want to cover in this lesson. Once those settings match and your square pixels are set at 1, go ahead and press OK. Quick summary, we have 4 different sequences here. We have our 4K or HD horizontal video. This is what movies look like, Netflix, if you watch Netflix, any of those streaming services or high productions are going to most often be in this aspect ratio. Social media, we have our story videos, those viral TikTok, Instagram Reel videos are usually vertical. Instagram videos that will match the feed, your home feed, profile feed, 1080 by 1080, those are square videos. And then also you can create slightly vertical square videos and post them to Instagram, Facebook, and a variety of different platforms. They will take up slightly more of the screen size than just the standard square, as you can see. And that aspect ratio, again, 1080 by 1350. Let's get to this point together. If you're confused by any elements, go ahead and reach out, ask the questions that you need to. Set up your project timeline so it looks just like this. Next, we're going to be importing footage. We're going to be editing audio in Adobe Audition, and we're going to start editing the podcast.